And then could you also explain what you mean by creating a baseline of peace, and actually how does this help your clients?
Yeah. So, I mean, oh my gosh, this is like the bread and butter of everything I do. So creating a baseline of peace helps us because, you know, there's so much that we want to do in the world. It's amazing when you sit down and talk to someone about what their dreams are, what their goals are. It's it's amazing. Like humans have these goals and these ambitions, and when we create a baseline of peace, it actually really helps us with showing up in the world, not just connecting really beautifully with the people around us, but also it helps us step into our purpose. It helps us step into who we really are authentically. And so when we're able to sort of what I call living beyond anxiety, when we're able to live beyond anxiety, it helps us connect to our intuition and our inner wisdom. I don't think we realize that when we're really stressed or anxious, it kind of muddles our inner world and we're not able to hear our inner voice. And so that to me is priceless. Like if we can get to that inner voice, it really helps to knock out a lot of like the comparative voices that come into our mind. You know, that person's doing that thing and that person's doing that thing. It helps us to really get in touch with our truest desires. So, I mean, there's just endless reasons why it's so important to create peace. I think if you look outward, it's really easy to get caught up in the chaos and like the drama of the world. But that doesn't help us with creating our purpose. That doesn't help us with shooting for whatever goals we have. And so creating a baseline of peace is really about getting to that inner wisdom.
Yes, and I'm noticing more and more the word authenticity come into play here, because a lot of people have been ashamed to be who they truly are because of the conditioning of this world and how we were taught as children, even on like shows that we used to watch. And me growing up as having older siblings, like I would always compare myself to my sister, even though she's like 10 years older than me. She was 6 feet tall. She was a skinny one. She was all into modeling and everything. And here I'm only like 5'5", and not like petite like she was. But there's that comparison thing. And I feel like a lot of people, especially like using social media, don't get me wrong, I love social media, trust me. But I used to be the one that would be like, oh, they're going on this trip. Oh, they look so happy. Why am I not happy? And I think it's like, you know what? I'm sure it took them as a family photo that they had just put on Facebook. I'm sure it took them like 5 times just to get that photo. Cause I know, because it happened to me with my family. Because, trying to get everyone to like smile and everything. But, nobody knows about actually what happened before we took that photo, who we were all fighting or what this is that. So I think that people, just by being real and like even sharing their stories on social media, whether it's having to deal with anxiety or depression or drinking, any of the things there, I really feel that just by people being their authentic selves, it really will bring light to everybody's mind, because there's a lot of chatter going on in our heads, and that chatter is not always good. And so where you're talking about going in and trusting yourself and listening to that inner voice, let it guide you, because it's there to help you. And I was telling you earlier as well, like I was listening to mine, and now it's telling me to do all these things, and I literally like listen to it, and I'm like, now I see why I'm supposed to do this. This is why. Like all these like other light bulb moments. Do you ever experience that as well for yourself?
Oh my gosh, yes, I totally resonate. That's for me, it can be as simple as choosing what to eat. Like
Yeah.
it could be as simple as those, day to day. My mind is telling me to eat that, but there's something within me that's telling me to have that. Um, it's kind of amazing when you start listening how it's that inner voice is guiding us to our greatest health, to our greatest vitality, to our greatest friendships. Like the amount of people that I've met just by following my intuition and just going for it. And sometimes, and I think this is where people get mixed up, intuition doesn't always feel really comfortable. Sometimes what our intuition is telling us to do is a little uncomfortable. That's me stepping outside of my comfort zone. That's me getting a little bit nervous to like meet this brand new person or whatever it is. but it will always guide us to like the greatest, our highest timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because, and that's the thing, it's good to get out of our comfort zone. Otherwise, how are we going to grow? If we don't grow, how are we going to evolve? And then if we don't evolve, how are we going to help people? And our biggest missions is to love on each other and help everybody to, I feel like if everyone had inner peace, there'd be like world peace.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. I honestly, world peace will not begin unless we have inner peace. And
Mhm.
I've seen, I've even seen myself as well, like go into nature or go into like a beautiful spot, but not enjoy it because something's going on inside. And that I always bring up that to my clients because sometimes people will say, well, if everything is perfect and if, this and that, then we can be happy. But the thing is, everything can actually look perfect and we might still not be at peace. We might still not be happy. We might still not be able to accept the beauty. And so it really does start within. I love that you brought that up. Yeah.